Hello, we are here with Quiana Holmes, and Quiana, I first want to say thank you for taking your time to do this with us. Welcome.
Course. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, the first question I have for you is, what made you want to pursue acting in the first place?
Yeah, so growing up, I was very involved with the church, and my mom was a playwright, so she would always put me in her plays, and I would always be performing. And my family is a singing family, so I just grew up with arts in my life, and going in elementary school and up to high school, I was always involved with musical theater, all of the acting things, all of the music things. So it just made sense for me to continue that. And that's when I really was like, yep, this is something that I want to do. I'm really happy doing it.
Who is your biggest inspiration in your life?
My biggest inspiration, that's a hard one because I pull inspiration from a lot of people, but definitely my parents. My mom has always been there to encourage me and push me forward. And my dad was a singer as well. And I just saw his face light up every single time I performed. So seeing that and knowing that I made them proud really, really pushed me forward. But also my hometown. I feel so much love from my hometown. So yeah.
In an interview with Rome Sentinel, you had said that you belonged on that stage. Could you talk about a time in your life that gave you that realization that you belonged on that stage?
Yeah. So I think it was my senior year actually. And I was really nervous about graduating as seniors are because we that for me Rome is all I knew, and I didn't know where I wanted to go or where I wanted to be. So I was in a battle with myself. I really love science and I thought that that's what I wanted to do. But then I looked inward and I looked at the things that I was doing my entire high school career, and I was noticing like, wow, I do a lot of things that involve music. I do a lot of things that involve acting. And that last performance with uh the with Rome, um Legally Blonde was the show of my senior year. And I was just like, this is something that I want to do. This is something I want to continue. And I just really love the community that happened backstage, that happened on stage, the rehearsal process. I just fell in love with all of that. So really my senior year, I knew that that's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Like that's the trajectory I wanted to be on.
You traveled the country, but what is something of Rome that you can say has always reminded you or stayed within you?
Something that Rome has given me is definitely a sense of community and support. Being from a small town like Rome, really felt like I knew everybody, and everyone knew me. And it just felt like it's just such a tight knit town. And I really, really loved that. And I was afraid to leave that, not gonna lie. I was afraid to move to a bigger city and meet all these new people, because I really fell in love with my family, my friends, family friends. I really fell in love with that sense of community. So that is something that is always stuck with me. And that is something that I still continue to look for today in my friendships with everybody, with every relationship that I have, work relationships, it doesn't matter. I really look for that sense of community that Rome has given me.
Up here in the world above, there's so much light here, light and space. The sun's so bright here upon my face. It feels so right here, warm as love.
You performed in RFA musicals and now performing on Broadway. Can you give us and the viewers a brief description of what that transition was like for you?
Going from acting in high school to acting on Broadway, there's a lot of things that changed. You know, when you're acting in a show with your peers, you're all the same age, you know, so give or take 1 to 5 years, depending on what grade you're in, you're all the same age and you are all going for the same parts, which is not a realistic situation in the real world where you go out and you audition for the parts that you are actually aged for and look like. So I think that was the biggest thing for me, because in high school I was playing a lot of older roles and I felt like I was playing, you know, like the mama, like I was more of a maternal character, whereas now transitioning in my career, I'm more of a younger character. I play younger. My voice is higher, so I'm gonna play the soprano. I'm gonna play, you know, the sibling. I'm probably not gonna play the mom right now, as I would probably in high school. So that was something really, really big that changed for me. Is just the characters that I played, but also it was the audition process. You know, when you audition for your high school, everybody knows you. You know your teachers. You work with your teachers everywhere else. You know, you actually have classes with these people. And when you audition for a show on Broadway, you are auditioning for strangers, and that could be very, very scary at times. You have like 30 seconds to prove your worth. You know, where in high school it's like, okay, I know what she can do. I know what she can do, or you know, they know where I fit in. But it's just like, it's definitely a different thing when you have to prove yourself to people you don't know. So I think that those are the biggest changes that I've that I've experienced.
And I'm what you want, so stop thinking about it. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Talk about where we're going before we get lost. Lend me your thoughts, can't get what we know without knowing. I never felt like this before. I apologize if I'm moving too far. Can we just talk? Can we just talk? Figure out where we're going.
From your perspective, how has acting affected, well, how has acting have been affected by COVID?
So my whole acting career really ended in March. I had just booked a new show, Jesus Christ Superstar, on tour. And I was 4 days away from my debut with the new show. And so I had been in rehearsals and I was just getting ready to make my debut and I was really excited. And then on March 12th, everything came to a halt. And I didn't know if it was going to be for a couple weeks. Like, we all thought it was going to be for a couple weeks. Like, we're going to be back. You know, there's no problem. Let's leave all of our stuff here. And then look at us now. It's January 2021 and we still don't have work on stage. So it's definitely affected a lot of our lives. Like, this is what I went to school for. This is what I've studied for 4 years. You know, this is how I make a living. And so for that to be taken away, that was really shocking, really depressing. And it changed how I had to go about, you know, how do I make money? You know, how do I go about my daily life? So I had to figure things out. And, you know, at first it was really hard to navigate. But as time went on, I started to see a lot of creativity happening from it. And we were turning to social media for things. And I was able to perform with a show called Delusion. And that was a amazing experience. It is an audio theater experience where we're singing, like in music is full intact. There's a script, you know, it's an actual experience. And that is something that I had to record from home. So that was so new to me. And recording it by myself, where, you know, musical theater is a place where you have to collaborate. You're working with tons of people all the time. And to work on something so big by yourself is really there's a learning curve with that. So I definitely had to learn how to record myself at home. And with that process, I really got more creative. I got more ideas. I decided I wanted to record by myself more. I decided that I wanted to write my own music and create content for myself. So in a way, You know, it is really sad that, you know, we don't have our jobs and everything, but I'm really blessed to have found an outlet to where now I can find other things that I love to do. We're really hoping that acting on stage comes back this year, hopefully in the fall. That's what we're looking towards. Right now with COVID, in this vaccine, we're still figuring it out. So right now we can just be hopeful, and we're just doing what we can. But it's definitely been affected, not just actors, people backstage, stage managers, stage hands, costume designers, hairstylists, like everyone that is involved in the theater community, and not even just theater, on film. All of these people are out of jobs now, you know, and so it's kind of like a what do we do situation. We're looking everywhere to find answers. There's just no answer. So we're just waiting it out and finding things to make ourselves happy at this point. So, yes.
Speaking of,
I'll be alright. Pictures I'm living through for now, trying to remember all the good times.
what is your favorite high school memory at RFA?
My favorite high school memory had to have been the football games. I really miss the football games. And actually, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago, like, wow, like that was such a great time. And for me, I was in marching band. So I got to perform at, you know, halftime? Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Halftime? Okay, yeah. I'm not good with sports. Anyway, I know I performed there. And it was so cool to see a marriage of all of my friends and family, you know, to see my band friends and to see my friends from class and to see my friends from gym class all together, coming together and having fun, eating snacks, like goofing off in the stands. That was a really good time for me. And I definitely do miss performing with my marching band too. So it was a great time in my life.
Who were some of your favorite teachers while in Rome? Those that inspired you in class and on that stage?
Yes. Jake Meese. Jake Meese was my band teacher, show choir teacher, musical director, everything. And such a dear friend now. He's come to support me in all of my shows, and I have learned so much from him. First of all, learned so much discipline, you know, just being on time for rehearsal and learning how to read music and learning the steps it takes to actually produce a good product, a good show. I learned a lot from him. Another person, actually not music related, but he just gave me so much joy, is Mr. Lacey. Go to school for history, and I was like, no, I'm going to school for music. Like, you know this. So I definitely miss that man. But Miss Edwards, Michelle Rushford, all of my music teachers, I really have to give thanks to, because they've really shaped me to who I am today. So much love to the music department at Rome Free Academy.
And my last question for you is, what is some advice you can give to current RFA students?
My biggest advice is it's okay to not know what you're going to be doing for the future. I know that there is a pressure of college, and there's a pressure of, you know, you gotta know what you're doing, you gotta know where you're gonna be. A lot of those times you make those plans and they don't come true. A lot of the times you're making plans and things do not go the way you planned them, and that is okay. But my biggest advice is just to get out there, try it. Sometimes you're gonna be scared, and you know, coming from Rome, like I said, as such a small city it is, and where you feel like you have such a community and all your friends are here and you know everybody's name and you know where everything is, and we know where Tony's is, you know, and all of our hangout spots, you know, it's going to feel weird to let that go. And that's okay, because you're going to meet people along the way, wherever you go, that you're going to fall in love with just as much. And you're going to find new things that you love, and you're going to get new perspectives on life. And that is the biggest thing. is just getting a different perspective on life, figuring out who you are as a person, as an individual, without being tied down to what you think you knew. That was really where my biggest growth happened, was stepping out of Rome and finding who I was, and then being able to look back and appreciate all that Rome has given me. So that's definitely my biggest advice. So keep on doing it, keep on doing what you love, find what you love doing, and go for it.
Awesome. That is it. Thank you, Quiana, again for taking your time to do this, and it was really a pleasure to interview you today.
Thank you so much for having me.